Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the City Boys podcast. I am one of your hosts. It's your boy Grayson.
What up? It's Ethan. We're back.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Jacob.
I just realized I still had my door open. I didn't want my roommates to just walk in on me in the middle of this. But guys, welcome back. We have a pretty exciting episode for you guys with a pretty exciting matchup against Sporting Kansas City. Midwest bragging rights game. It went pretty poorly, not gonna lie.
Yeah, probably not the perfect result from St. Louis City, and we're glad to be once again getting a point from a hard-fought comeback game.
Yeah, it was tale of two halves, and we're going to dive into both of those here in a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah. So I'll go ahead and kick us off with a look at the lineups for this weekend's match. Copy and paste it from last week. We had Roman Berkey in the sticks, between the sticks, starting from right to left. On the back line, we had Thomas Totland as the right back. I believe he got the man of the match. Tim Parker and Cal Hebert make up our center back pairing with Marcanic on the left. Our midfield pivot of Ostrick and Durkin. Midfield attacking trio of Pompeu on the left, Indiana Vasiliev in the 10 position, and Rasmus Alm outright. The man, the myth, the legend, João Klaus up top. Honestly, I really like this lineup. We did have a couple substitutions come in late in the match. In the 64th minute, two subs, AZ and Kahima. AZ taking Indiana's spot and Kahima taking Ostrick's. In the 73rd minute, we had Thorson, who came on. Who did Thorson come on for?
Rasmus Alm.
Rasmus Alm. So that was our lineup for this week. Let's throw it to Jacob for a little bit of a match review.
Yeah, it was a crazy match. Roller coaster of emotions from start to finish. In the first half, St. Louis was definitely the more dominant side. We got off pretty much on the front foot. We were unfortunate to concede first. Alan Pulido took the ball at midfield, dribbled down, 1-2'd with Agata, their striker, and slotted it past Berkey. It was a clean finish, and that's going to be my take on all of Kansas City's goals from the match. Every goal they scored was very clean, even the listed Berkey own goal. But that didn't slow us down getting scored on early. We just kept our foot on their throat, and Klaus was able to bag one in. That goal is awesome to watch. Hopefully we're playing it on the screen now. Alm was chasing the long ball down, and Alm was chasing the long ball down, kind of got fouled, but popped back up, and Durkin on the support came through and just absolutely bodied Leibold right on the ground. Reminded him that this is a men's league. Played the ball back. I forget who picked it up, but no, I don't. Alm picked up the ball, played a fucking clinical pass that beat all four of Kansas City's defenders to find Klaus lurking in the center of the box, who had a little bit of a push off to give him that space to have a tidy finish into the corner. And that's 2 goals for Klaus in the last 2 games. We told you, floodgates are open. Klaus is unstoppable.
Here he is. The man is back.
I also think that Alm's pass, that's got to be right. That's check marked for assist of the season, in my opinion, so far. Such a sexy pass. The bend on that was beautiful. Took out so many defenders and hit perfectly in stride. Surgical.
It was as perfect of a ball that you could play in any league, not just the MLS. Moving on into stoppage time of the first half, another big body, João Klaus, tracking back towards the midfield line, bodied Agada, sent him into the stands behind our net. picked up the ball. Taylor Twellman was calling for it to be a foul. I don't think it was a foul. I think our team is made of men and Kansas City's team is made of boys.
Get bigger.
Picked up the ball, found Celio Pompeo making a run. Celio picked it up, and then Klaus continued his run with an overlap that gave Celio just enough space to cut onto his fucking wizard of a right foot and banged it top bins for us to go into halftime. 2-1 up. I know at halftime our group chat was buzzing. We definitely felt like we had the game in our hands. And unfortunately, coming out in the second half, we kind of bottle jobbed a little bit for the next 40-ish minutes.
Complacent second half from St. Louis City, and it showed.
Yeah, we definitely conceded way too much possession. There were points in which our defensive line was only getting out to about halfway up our own 18-yard box, which was really fucking scary. Then Sporting Kansas City had an attack down the left side, and Tommy tried to like chip in across near post, and Berkey got his hands on it, but he didn't push it out enough. He just kind of pushed it straight up, and it bounced right on the line and then into our own net for an own goal. They listed it on the television as a Tommy goal, but it's listed as a Berkey own goal, which really sucked. Then later on in the match, in the 77th minute, Tommy picked up the ball in space, clinical finish. It looked really bad when they scored their third goal. Our team kind of dropped their heads, and we got lucky in the 90th minute. We picked up the ball in their half, and we're trying to make something go. Ball passed into Klaus, who's trying to be hold up play. He lays it off for AZ. AZ actually gets his pocket picked, and that ball gets touched out wide to Thomas Totland, who, according to Carnell's post-game presser, was actually pushed up to like a wingback role. And yeah, Totland picked up the ball, had one man to beat. He clipped it over him while also jumping over the slide tackle, which was world-class dribbling in itself. Saw the right side of the net open, goalkeeper's right side of the net open, and slotted it right past the goalie for us to walk out of Sporting Kansas City with a point.
Absolutely massive point for us to come back. I mean, this game was a massive comeback for us to come back from the original deficit, and then they come back again, and then we come back again to finish it out. Super exciting. So on with this draw, this leaves us in 9th place on the table. A little bit of movement around us, but good thing to note, Sporting Kansas City still below us on the table. I know we were a little confused about how the table worked last week. I think we figured it out, and I think City's just on top of Sporting. It's just how it works.
Yeah, always going to have a one position lead at the very least on Sporting Kansas City, who just one more time is below us in the table again. I just wanted to double check that.
Just to confirm, they are below us.
Yeah, fun fact, going back to the match recap, when Klaus scored his first goal, Sporting Kansas City was in the middle of chanting "fuck St. Louis," and it was the most perfect time to turn around and say "fuck Kansas City" right back.
Oh yeah,
especially off a big body from Chris Durkin, just absolutely flooring their outside back and rewarding our team with a goal. Perfect timing. Classless from Kansas City.
And our strength was definitely on display this weekend. Just absolutely just tossing around Sporting Kansas City players. Just wish it would have showed a little bit better on the scoreline for us. But with that, I think we should get into our 3 points. How do you feel, boys?
Yeah.
Before we do, I actually do have one question for us. What do you guys make of that Carnell sub at the 65th or 64th minute or so on a defensive set piece? What do you guys make of that? Because I know I personally wasn't a huge fan, but Carnell was saying that he felt the change was necessary. What do you guys make of that?
I'm actually really glad you brought that up, Ethan. You're leading me directly into my point. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck is what I make of. A coach at a CYC level knows not to make a substitution in a defensive possession, especially a defensive set piece. Taylor Twellman talked about it on screen, and we all know he gets his information from our podcast. So we know when you're on defense, you don't sub. You're supposed to let the players on the team that already have the mojo going work to get that ball out. If we get scored on because we don't make that substitution, so be it. But you're never supposed to sub on a defensive possession. Maybe a defensive throw in if the other team is subbing as well, but definitely not with a fucking set piece direct kick towards our net.
Especially with making two subs at the same time. It just throws a lot into the mix right in the moment. I mean, people can easily lose their marks. I mean, they're coming in straight into the game. They don't exactly know who they're marking right off the bat. I mean, they are professionals. They probably do. But
Yeah, you'd hope so. It was awkward, and for them scoring from it, I think says all it needs to. Our set piece defending hasn't been the strongest in general this season, so just really frustrating. Like a very questionable decision in my opinion. But Cardinal also acknowledged that in his post-match press conference, so I don't imagine it's something that they'll do frequently. But Jacob, what was that point?
Yeah, my point is just in a nutshell, it's substitutions and our lack of quality from our substitutions. Subbing during a defensive set piece, we just talked at length about it, is a bonehead move on Carnell's part. But something Carnell can't really control is the performance from the players coming onto the pitch. He is trying to inject some spark into the team, and he can't do it for them. And so having Indiana Vasilev come off, I understood because he was running ragged, but I talked all season about how ass AZ is at the center attacking mid position. He's hit and miss when he starts, and now he's becoming hit and miss coming off the bench. Like last week, he was a really, really good substitute. He looked very dynamic, and this week he lost the ball. Fatmob has it listed as one dispossession, but I am fairly certain I watched him lose the ball like 3 times. Rasmus Alm, I need to get up to form. Like if he can play 90 minutes, that's one less substitution we have to make. And he is one of our most dangerous and dynamic players when he's on the field. So Alm coming off really, really hurt the team as well going forward. Thorson did not look up to speed. He has yet to look up to MLS quality. Even though he did offer some speed as a center attacking mid and some, I can't find the word I'm looking for, but he isn't nearly as dangerous of a player as we've needed him to be. Grayson talked about it before we got on the pod about how he has been put into situations to where he could have scored in these clutch moments, and he didn't have a clutch scoring opportunity this game, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he has and was pretty bad coming off the bench in this game. I didn't see a need for Ostrak to come off the field. His substitute, I know Kojima put in a pretty good shift. He didn't look like too bad. He was definitely our best of our 4 substitutions that were made, but I didn't think Ostrak needed to come off the bench. And then Markinich coming off for Deer for us to move to like a 3-back, Durkin slotted in the middle so that Deer and Tolton could play this like winger position. Deer wasn't on the field long enough to really have that big of an impact. I didn't see him do anything great or anything bad, which is why he doesn't have a rating. But we're not getting what we need out of our substitutes, and I'm pretty sure you two agree with me.
I definitely agree. I would love to see a player like Nicholas Deere and especially AZ Jackson have some kind of impactful role off the bench. That's what we were so in love with AZ for or what I was in love with AZ for last season was the kind of spark that he provided, and when it's not there, it is lackluster otherwise. Thorson is just not finding his feet, in my opinion. I think that he has had chances to cement himself as a really quality player for us, and we're, still waiting to see that.
Yeah, I am somewhat impressed with Thorson's ability to get into these scoring positions, but his finishing and just composure just needs to improve. And I think there is a solid player in there. I mean, if he converts a couple of those chances, then we're probably looking at him very different. He's still super young. He's definitely a substitute player, but yeah, so far hasn't added any notable value to the club. So yeah, definitely agree with you guys. There needs to be uh, some quality coming off the bench. But I think that also goes to show how some of our we have found like a nice kind of starting attack. I think that's something you wanted to talk about, Ethan, right?
Somewhat, yeah. My point today is about how good our signings have been, specifically Chris Durkin and Thomas Totland. Both have provided totally new elements for us and have filled roles that we needed desperately to fill. With Njabo Blom and Edu Lovin not seeing a lot of time this season, Chris Durkin's signing has been all that more important. Not only that, but I don't know if you guys knew this, but 29% of the earth is covered by land, and the rest is covered by Chris Durkin. He is around the world that often. He's got that kind of energy, that kind of work rate. Uh, I have never seen a distance covered graphic that does not have his name firmly at the top by usually a half mile or more. This guy is running 6 miles in 70 minutes of a soccer game. I could not find, despite my efforts, distance covered per match, but it would not surprise me if he is covering close to 7.5 miles a game. He is a demon in the midfield and he has a diesel powered engine. He's a ball winner. He's a big body. Our first goal against Kansas City just was the perfect example of that. He really is the midfield engine. But something I'd love to see from Durkin is to get an assist, to find himself on the score sheet. Is big of fans as we are of him, there is one little criticism that I think critics could make, which is effort does not equal production. Of course, it's really inspiring for the team and great to watch as a fan, but unfortunately doesn't necessarily add up in the score sheet. Our second signing that I really want to talk about and who's been majorly impactful this season is Thomas Totland. We have had an unbelievable amount of chances up the right side this season, and with the success of Pompeu, it's the perfect balance that the team really needs. With crossing and dribbling, he is very strong in both those aspects of his game. He's actually really disgusting on the ball. He had a filthy nutmeg on a Sporting Kansas City player. So he's got that dynamic and exciting part to his game. And not to mention, he's also a very quality defender. Not a lot of people get past him. He wins about 50% of his ground duels. So, there is room for improvement there, but he's an improvement from last season, in my opinion. He has one goal and one assist so far. So he is on the score sheet. He is adding value to the team. So that's been really great to see. And week in and week out, it's awesome to watch our new signings really perform for us.
Yeah, I'd have to say the only negative, I have no negatives to say about Tottenham, none at all. Fantastic player, hell of a signing. I only have one negative about Chris Durkin, and just like Ethan said, it's on terms of production and creativity. Specifically in this game, of course, before I mention that, I need to shout out his defensive actions. He had 11 defensive actions, 11 recoveries, was only dribbled past once, won 7 duels, 2 clearances, 1 block, 3 tackles, one. The dude was everywhere defensively.
He's a ball winner.
The only issue is once he wins that ball, what does he do with it? He gives it away again.
Oh,
He had 64% passing percentage in this match. Only completed 27 of his 42 passes. Um, he's a great player. He wins the ball back a ton. Um, but yeah, I think if he can improve his distribution and just, winning that ball back and feeding it to other players quickly, will definitely help his game a lot.
Yeah, as a former center defensive mid myself, who's also spent some time at outside back, I respect their games immensely. I feel a little bit different about Chris Durkin, even with that stat line that you just gave us about him losing the ball. I could care less if he got on the score sheet or even got an assist. I wouldn't trade him for the world, and I think my release clause on Thomas Totland would have to be upwards of $50 million.
Oh yeah,
He is definitely in the top three most important players for our team this season. I mean, like without him, we don't get a tie in this game.
No
We
chance.
didn't look dangerous at all in the second half, and he slotted our like only real opportunity on frame. I think we probably had like one or two other opportunities going forward, but him 1v1 with a defender, chipping him, running past him, and then slotting it home, just a nice, easy finish. This would be a much different podcast episode if it were not for his performance last night.
One last thing to note about both these players is that they are both on 4 yellow cards at the time of recording. So they are both each 1 yellow card away from a suspension, a 1 match suspension. But I think that's that's the kind of energy and expectation that we have at St. Louis City is put it all out there and try your best.
it's only a little worrisome just because I think they're both massively important to the squad. So if they do get a suspension, that can be really detrimental to our match day plan. Especially when we also have Blom out and Leuven out. Like our midfield's um gonna
Man,
be stretched thin.
I'm really interested for when Lovin and Blom are both healthy, though, and what our midfield looks like when they're both healthy. Because in my opinion, there's no real reason to release Ostrak from that position. I think Lovin could improve the position, but I think Ostrak has done. He's put in good
Yeah,
performances, and I definitely would not remove Chris Durkin from the starting 11. So definitely some tough decisions coming up for Bradley Cardinal.
for sure. For sure. For my third and final point for St. Louis City this week, I'll make it quick. I just want to show some love to a fantastic player for St. Louis City, one that I thought everybody loved, but I've been seeing some like hate on social media, specifically on Facebook. You like get your act together, St. Louis fans. If you're hating on Roman Berkey, take a look at
You're
yourself.
tripping. You are tripping. Look in
Take a
the
look at yourself.
mirror before putting hate and slander on Roman Berkey's name. That is crazy talk.
Crazy. And I've seen it multiple times this season. So I'm not naming names. I'm not shouting you out. If it's still a problem, we'll talk. We'll talk. But I'm gonna throw out some numbers for you guys. So Berkey has played 9 matches for us starting in the MLS this season. He has one, two, three, four 7.0 plus match rating. Um, the first one versus NYCFC. Um, Most notably, 2 of these matches I want to shout out. That we need to, if I need to remind you guys, the match day 4 against LA Galaxy, he earned a 7.0. Honestly, could have had a 10 in my opinion. He had 3 goals conceded, but he saved 8 he had 6 saves on 8 shots on target. Definitely kept us in that match. If you remember, LA Galaxy's fantastic offensively. So Berkey really saved us that match. And then match day 7, he had that was against FC Dallas. He earned a 7.9, just for edged out to lose man of the match to the other goalkeeper, Paez. Um, Berkey had 4 saves on 4 shots on target, just locked down for that clean sheet. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a bad day in the office for him this week. He had 1 save, 4 shots on target, 3 conceded. It was a rough day in the office, and honestly, that's on St. Louis City. Our back line didn't hold up. Um, and I'm looking at our center backs this week. Totland and Marcanic had a great week. but Tim Parker and Hebert just looked a little iffy. I know in the first goal, Parker had the giveaway that led to the goal.
Rough from both center backs there. Tim Parker giveaway, and then Kyle Hebert got put in a spin cycle. He did not know which way to go.
Yeah, so not the greatest, most sturdiest look in the back from us this week, but that's nothing to blame on our keeper, Roman. He's trying his best out there. Of course, the own goal is so unlucky. I mean, no one's expecting a shot from that angle, and he still gets a hand on it. It's just unlucky that it takes the angle and bounces straight into the goal. But that's not on him. I'll let you know when there's a goal that's on him, but for now, Berkey still has my respect, and he's still the best keeper in the league. It's on St. Louis to make sure that he remains that way.
Yeah, to continue this train of backing Berkey up, the third goal that Kansas City scored was on a lapse in our outside backs defensive alignment with our center backs that held Tommy onside. Both Markinich and Tolton were just a foot past our center backs, and Tommy saw that, and his run was inch perfect. And honestly, probably 60% of the time, one on one with a goalie, a guy of Tommy's quality is going to finish that shot.
What the hell is that? Did you
Yeah, there
see?
was a thumbs up that just appeared over my head.
No, I did that in editing. I'm so good at this. What the fuck? Okay, well, that's interesting.
Oh, dude.
Honestly, I still think I still kind of want to put the blame on for that last goal on our center backs. I'm confused as why we are like that high up. Like I understand that we have a high line. We usually play a high line. But the ball was in KC's position or possession. We just got to be faster to spot those runs. Jacob?
I got to run out of here, so fast forwarding real quick.
Yeah.
My kick clash. Jesus fucking Christ, it's all falling apart on me. My kick clash for this week. Fuck Kansas City. They get a 0 out of 10. Those jerseys are fucking booty cheeks. And we have a bye next week, so fucking everybody go get healthy, and I'll see you guys next week.
Go get a dub tonight, Jacob.
Love you, buddy.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys. Jacob had to pull out of here, play a full 90. I think a center back for his Sunday League team. So he's about to go get that dub. So me and Ethan here are gonna handle the rest of the episode.
Dude, he actually reminded me of something really interesting. We have a bye week next week.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I
Yup.
haven't even thought about next week's matches at all. So I mean, that'll give us an extra time to think, ponder about this matchup. Hopefully, get some news regarding some injuries, and regarding some drama. Big Sam. Hopefully, there's already been some progress behind the scenes that we just haven't heard about yet. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's already back with the starting the team practicing. Hopefully, but
Yeah,
honestly,
I think a team field
optimistic.
trip to the City Museum and the St. Louis Art Museum was needed, and now it's all they're all singing "Kumbaya" at training. It's all good. Um, do you want to do our ratings for Kit Clash? I think Jacob summed it up pretty well for me, but I'd
Yeah.
love to hear your take.
Uh, Kit Clash, ding ding ding. So let me listen. I not only am I mad at Sporting Kansas City for just being themselves, um,
Existing.
existing. I was actually talking to my friend about this the other day, but I'm more pissed that they were once known as the Kansas City Wizards, had some
Yep.
of the coolest uniforms in the league, and then
Oh yeah.
someone, I don't know, whoever owns it now, bought the club, changed it to KC Sporting, one of the most boring names, giving them like the most boring uniforms. Just Children's Mercy Park. That's like, I don't know, just
Yeah.
kids, man.
I I mean, it's just embarrassing. The hoops are not; those are not strong for me. It's just so boring, especially when we've seen. I don't. Really can't remember the name of the pattern, but the crossing diamonds.
Argyle. We're talking about Argyle.
Like man, the Argyle looks so good. They've had that for years, and
I think
to
they
be
have that
fair,
on their away kit, actually.
yeah, to be fair, their away kit is decent, but this one, their home kit is such a just swing and a miss. It is so boring. I don't like this at all. This is in my books a bad kit. Like not even average. This is bad. This is you know what? I think on their kit promo it's introducing the Hoops 4.0. So a 4.0 is the score that their kits get for me. If this is the fourth edition of the Hoops, then they need to get to 5.0 right away.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. They're pretty stinky. I'm not a fan. I'm honestly not even the biggest fan of the Argyle kits. I like this away, the away kit they have this year, I think is actually like probably one of the better Argyle kits I've seen from them.
Mm.
But yeah, for those who don't know, Ethan, Jacob, and I used to play for St. Louis Sporting, a little like academy affiliate club in St. Louis.
Yep,
Uh,
that's how we met.
so we technically rocked the sporting
We
color
had the
Argyle.
Argyle across the chest. Yeah.
I think I actually have one of my kits here. Let me
Dude, yeah, if you can pull up a kit, that would be incredible because these were actually some decent kits. The white on the silver is a good look, and we had the darkish blue with the light blue Argyle. Not half bad kits for club, I will say.
No,
Um, I mean, it was cool. Hey, I will admit, back in around 2016, 2015, 2017, when we were on Sporting STL, it was cool. It was cool to be a part of Sporting, but no, yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh, boom, look at those.
that guy. Honestly, I love these kits. The badge was my favorite part.
That is slick.
That's just sick. The Argyle, and then you get the little MLS badge on the back. These kits just made me feel like an MLS player. Made me feel like a star, man. Oh my
Oh,
God.
100%, dude. I felt very cool to wear those kits. So,
So if
yeah.
Kansas City had kits like these, they'd get a higher rating from me. This home kit is getting a solid, just a right down the middle. I'll give it a 4.5. I get a little bit higher than a 4, but um, that's an L or for KC. And yeah, we don't exactly have a match preview for next week since yeah, we
Yeah, no preview. I know that their next matchup is against Houston, but not for 2 weeks. And if I'm being honest, I think that SDL could look different in a week's time. So I'm gonna hold off on any match predictions against Houston today, but that's a matchup that's gonna be really important for us.
yeah, I think we should we'll do a separate episode next week where we won't talk about the Sporting KC match, maybe a little bit, but we'll mostly just focus on looking ahead
Maybe
towards
a little personality episode, Grayson. Maybe a backstory, background.
Hey, actually my mom did send me a bunch of old photos of us, so
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I think that the City Boys backstory has got to come out.
I agree. I agree. That'd be beautiful. Um well any last notes before we call this episode?
I think the last thing I want to say is that I I'm very glad that we got a point from this game. Uh, Plus, I think that it's really actually speaking to St. Louis City's resiliency. I don't know if anyone saw the tifo before the game, but it said "Abandon all hope, ye who enters here," and we did not. We kept hope until quite literally the last moment of the game. So I still love St. Louis City. I love watching this team. It's the best every week. I'm gonna have to fill my Saturday somehow.
Definitely an emotional roller coaster this week with you know, coming back from behind and then losing it and then coming back again. It was definitely a lot of fun. Wish we could hold out for the 3 points, but hey, I'll take the draw. Um, and I thought it was kind of sweet. I did see this little photo post match. I'll throw it up here of Alan Polito and Jock Klaus swapping kits. And they didn't look like they were gonna kill each other. So I don't know. Although there was a lot of toxicity off the field in Kansas City this weekend, looks like there actually might be some bridges being built on the field between the players. So hey, it's all good competition. But yeah, fuck you, Kansas City.
Yeah, I think that's all fan beef, but yeah, we love some good sportsmanship, huh?
Well,
All right, lads. Hey, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget. I remember this time, Jacob.
yep. Jacob's outro, like, comment, subscribe, tell your moms you love her. We'll be back with another 3 points, and so will St. Louis City in 2 weeks. Love you guys. STL.
ST.